Thank you. I'm sure you will see that my son will be a great choice to have as an ally, he says before he hangs up the phone. I quickly mind link my beta about this trip and tell him to make preparations. Today is Friday, so I have a few days to tie up loose ends in my pack and get ready for this trip. Once I'm done thinking things over, I crawl back into bed to try and get some sleep. Elizabeth's POV. The next morning when I wake up, I go to the bathroom and take care of my morning routine. I look at my clock and see that it's 6 in the morning. Once I am finished, I move my dresser from in front of my door and I unlock it before carefully making my way downstairs. All along the stairs, I see people passed out, food and beer cans and stains. I silently groan because I know that I'm going to have to clean all of this. Once I get downstairs, I wish I had just stayed in bed. Couches and tables are overturned, and there's even more food, bodies, and stains on the floor. It must have been one heck of a party. Too bad I wasn't invited. I grab some trash bags from the kitchen and I start picking up the cans of the various alcoholic drinks. This is one of the rare times when I'm happy about having to clean up. With the amount of bottles and cans that I pick up, I'm able to return them, and then I can have some money so I can buy some of the things I need. Jake isn't allowed to buy me things either. He manages to sneak a few things here and there, but for the most part, he has no power. After I store the cans away in my hiding spot, I go around the house waking people up. This is my least favorite part. People will call me names, and if I had $1 for every glare I got at the end of each party, I'd probably be a millionaire. Once everyone is up from the floor, I start vacuuming and cleaning up the food and the various stains from God knows what. I'm finally finished with the house and I feel completely exhausted. Every bone in my body aches, and I wish I could go take a hot bath. Unfortunately, the shower in my room only has cold water, and the water only runs for about 5 minutes. I glance at the clock on the wall and see that it's 3 in the afternoon. It's time for me to start making snacks for everyone. Once I enter the kitchen, all the conversations stop, and people turn away from me, but not before giving me a look of disgust. Apparently, I'm not even good enough to be an Omega. Basically, I'm no better than dirt. I'm just someone who can't be kicked out of the pack because they need me to do work. I let out a sigh before I take out the ingredients for brownies and cookies. I also make sure to have a few pots of coffee ready for when the teenagers come down. Even though werewolves can't get drunk, we can still get headaches, especially if we drink as much as they did at the party. I hum to myself as I work. Music has always soothed me, and it has always helped me get through a lot of difficult times where I just wanted to give up. Once I'm done baking, I start heading up to my room when I hear the Zach and his father talking in the study. I finally got Alpha Ryder to agree to come here, Alpha Daniel exclaims. I don't know why, but once he says Ryder's name, I get chills and my wolf starts acting weird. I'm sure once he sees how good I am at running this pack, he will form an alliance with us. Zach responds, and I can just imagine the arrogant smirk on his face. I don't think that will be the case, though, because Zach has no clue what he's doing. That's actually why he had to leave for all those years. He had to go to another pack to train how to be an alpha, since he almost destroyed our pack the first time Alpha Daniel gave him control. I'm sure he will, son. Don't mess this up. This is our one and only chance to show the world what we are capable of. I quickly leave before they realize that I was listening to them. They got Alpha Ryder to come here? Wow, I wonder how much convincing that took, but I'm not surprised. Alpha Daniels is obsessed with power, and so is Zach. I can feel my wolf pacing in my head, and she seems really bothered by something. Belle, are you okay? I ask her. Yeah, I'm fine. Can we go for a run soon? Sure, I say before I change into something more comfortable. After that, I open my window and I reach out to the tree that's right near my window. Once I make it to the ground, I quickly make sure no one is looking before I sprint into the forest. Technically, I'm not allowed to go for runs, but it's fine as long as I don't get caught. Once I'm far enough, I quickly shift into my wolf. My wolf is a very light cream color with small patches of light brown near my paws. I start running around as fast as I can, dodging fallen tree branches and rocks. Once I get to the spot I'm looking for, I relax. In front of me is a beautiful clearing with a waterfall. I'm the only one who knows about this place, and I want to keep it that way. That's one of the reasons why whenever I go for a run, I hide my scent. I go over to the waterfall and stand underneath it, happy to be clean after my run. My wolf howls happily in my head. After a while, I go and lay down on the grass. Soon I'm asleep. When I wake up, I see that the sky is completely black, which means it's about midnight. I start panicking when I remember that I didn't make dinner for the pack. I can already feel the beating I'm going to get when I get back to the pack house. I quickly run back to the house and I shift back before I climb up the tree and then to my opened window. As I'm about to let out a sigh of relief, I turn around and see an angry Zach glaring at me. Crap. I'm a dead wolf. Where were you? I say, trying to think of an excuse. I walked into town to get some more food, but I got lost, so I never made it to the stores. By the look on his face, I know he doesn't believe me, and I also know that I'm about to get a beating. You have 5 minutes to tell me where you really were and why you came back so late. Why does it matter to you? I say before thinking. He clenches his jaw and his eyes are starting to turn darker. Just tell me where you went, he says through clenched teeth. It doesn't really matter. I start before I'm cut off. You were with a guy, weren't you? You little slut, he screams before punching me in the face. I fall to the ground, holding my cheek. I was able to move out of the way so it wasn't a direct hit, but I can feel the left side of my face start to swell. I wasn't with a guy. I was trying to go to the mall. I repeat frantically while trying to move away from him. Shut up. I should have killed you when I had the chance, he yells before he goes to start hitting me again. My wolf whimpers in my head as she tries to comfort me. I curl up into a ball and wait for my death with my eyes closed. I've never been afraid of death, but now that it's staring me right in the face, I couldn't be more terrified. I continue to wait for his next hit, but nothing happens. I count to 10 in my head before I slowly open my eyes. I see Jake holding back a furious-looking Zach, and I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. Alpha Zach, please stop, my brother says as he moves himself between Zach and me to protect me even further. Why should I? Your little slut of a sister thinks she can go and sleep around with other men. I can hear Jake answering Zach, but I can't understand any of the words he is saying. They all mesh together until all I can hear is an annoying buzzing ringing in my ears. My eyes start closing on their own accord, and my body starts to feel really heavy. I guess that punch did more damage than I thought it did. I struggle to stay awake for a few minutes before I realize that it's pointless, and I submit to the darkness. Ryder's POV. I don't know why, but as the week has been going by, my wolf has been getting more and more restless. I feel like I have had to let my wolf out at least 3 times a day just so he can remain relatively calm. It's finally Wednesday, and a few of my pack members and I are getting ready to leave. We load all of our luggage into the cars before they say bye to the family members that have come to see us off. I stand stiffly off to the side since I don't have any family members. My beta's wife and mate sees this, and she immediately pulls me into their family hug. Thank you, Emily. I really need that, I admit. Ever since Brian, my beta, has met Emily, she has always tried to make sure that I was never excluded from family matters. Obviously, I think of my entire pack as my family, but my betas have a special place in my messed up heart. Don't even mention it, she says to me with a warm smile. I give her a small smile in return before I start heading towards the van that I'm going to be in. Now y'all better be on your best behaviors for Uncle Chris while we're gone. Are we clear? She asks her 2 children. Of course, Mom, the twins Ashley and Anna say together. I chuckle before telling everyone to head to their cars so we can get on the road. My third in command, Chris, will be watching the pack while Brian and I are gone. I really hope this trip isn't a waste of my time. I've heard about the leadership at Crescent Falls, and I don't believe for 1 second that they will be able to get me to agree to an alliance with them. I also hope that I will be able to figure out why my wolf has been so crazy recently. Elizabeth's POV. I wake up to an annoying beeping sound. What the heck? Slowly, I open my eyes, and I'm blinded by the bright lights. I groan, and I try to move my hands in front of my face to protect my eyes. Liz, you're awake. I look over and see my brother looking at me with wide eyes. Water. Wow, is that really my voice? I sound like a 90-year-old male who has had way too many cigarettes. I start coughing violently, trying to clear my throat. My brother puts a cup of water near my mouth, and I greedily drink it down. Thank you, I say, suddenly feeling drained. Do you need anything else? Are you really okay? I thought that I had lost you, my brother says, trailing off at the end with a look of vulnerability that I have never seen on his face. I'm so sorry that I didn't get there fast enough, I show. Jake, this isn't your fault. You've done everything that you can to make sure that I'm still alive. Thank you for that. I know, but if I do... Shh, calm down. You're giving me a headache. I'm fine, honestly, I say before giving him a weak smile. Jake gives me a small smile before he sits down on the chair next to the bed. By the way, where am I? You're in the guest room of my house. I brought you here as soon as you passed out, and I got a doctor to examine you. The pack doctors aren't allowed to treat me for my injuries, so Jake probably got me a human doctor. How bad was it this time? He just shakes his head and gives me a sad smile. How did you know I needed you? Well, I was coming to bring you some food and some new clothes, but then I heard screaming, so I quickly rushed upstairs. I'm quiet for a while as I try to clear my semi-fuzzy brain. How long have I been out? I ask quietly. Well, you passed out early Monday morning, and today is Thursday, so you've been out about 4 days. Why do you think he was so mad? I think he's one of those people who has to have control over everything. He's like a little kid with his toys. Even though he might not want one of his toys anymore, that doesn't mean that he wants anyone else to take interest in it. So you think that even though he rejected me, he's still going to be possessive of me? Basically, all males are possessive over their mates, no matter what. I wish he would just leave me alone, I mumble before I let out a huge yawn. Jake chuckles a little before telling me to get some rest. I love you, Jakey, I say as my eyes start closing on their own accord. I love you too, Liz, he says before kissing my forehead and leaving the room. I yawn once more before I feel my eyes close, and I let the darkness take over. I wake up to someone shaking my arm. Groaning, I turn away from them and pull the sheet over my head. I hear a familiar chuckle before the sheet is ripped away from me, and I start shivering because of the cool air. Come on, Liz, it's time to get up, Jake says to me. Do I really have to go? I ask, giving him my puppy dog eyes. He gives me a sad smile before nodding his head. I was ordered this morning to send you back to the pack house. You know I would let you stay here if I could. I know, I sigh before rolling out of bed. I have some clothes set out for you after you shower. Thanks, Jake, I say as I walk up to him and hug him. You're the best brother ever. I love you. He kisses me on the forehead before saying, I love you too, little sis. If you ever need me, you can mind link me or call me. Once he leaves, I go to the bathroom and I take off the shirt Jake must have changed me into while I was unconscious. I see my reflection and I instantly frown. I'm way too skinny, and I have too many scars from the abuse I've gotten. No one could ever love me. Annabelle growls at me for thinking that. Don't say that, Lizzie. You are beautiful, and anyone would be lucky to have you as a friend. You're kind, smart, talented, and you are perfect just the way you are. Never think that there is something wrong with you. I love you. Is it sad that the only times I've heard those words are from Jake and Annabelle? Through my tears, I manage a small wobbly smile. Thank you, Belle. I'm so glad that you are my wolf. I love you too. As I start heading back to the pack house, Annabelle starts pacing around in my head. She seems very nervous for some reason. As I get closer, I faintly hear someone mention Alpha Ryder, and then I realize that today is Friday, and he said he was arriving on Thursday, so he must be here already. As I get closer to the pack house, I can't help but feel anxious. Alpha Ryder is basically a living legend in the werewolf world. He is also very famous in the human world because he owns a lot of industries. Alpha Ryder is rumored to be even stronger than the Alpha King, and he is only 21. I've heard stories about how ruthless he is during battle. For everyone's sake, I hope Zach doesn't make him mad. I also hope that there are no troubles with the members of the Bloodfall Pack. My pack might think they are all high and mighty, but we would lose very badly if anyone tried to start a fight. I take a deep breath before I enter the pack house. Ryder's POV. Once we arrive at the Crescent Falls pack, I immediately spot the old alpha and the new one. Well, technically, the new one isn't that new. He had taken over the alpha position when he was 20, like most alphas, but apparently he was terrible, so his dad had him go to another pack to learn how to become a better alpha. I guess after 4 years of him training in his neighboring pack was enough because he has officially taken over the alpha position again. Hello, Alpha Ryder. It's nice to see you again. I only nod my head in recognition before I start looking around. My pack members do the same, scanning the area for anything dangerous. I take a deep breath, and I smell the most amazing scent that I have ever smelled. My wolf starts going crazy and saying one thing over and over: mate. Even though I can smell her scent, it's faint, so that means that she hasn't been here for a while, so I guess I'm just going to have to wait to meet her. Are you okay, Alpha? You look more tense than you usually do. Brian says through our mind link. My mate is here. I can tell everyone in my pack has heard what I said because of the looks of surprise and joy on their faces. Everyone congratulates me through our pack link before we turn our attention back to the alphas of the Crescent Falls pack. A few of their pack members come over to take our luggage and show us where we will be staying. The old alpha starts going on and on about how great our stay will be and how happy he is that I agreed to come down here. I'm too busy looking for any signs of my mate, but other than the faint trail of her scent, I can't locate her. I let out a frustrated sigh, and Emily gives me a small smile. Be patient, Ryder, Emily says through the our pack link. Your mate is here, and you will find her soon. Remember that we are close to the edge of their territory, so that's probably why you can't locate her right now. I give her a small smile, thanking her for rational thoughts at a time when I can't seem to think straight. It's almost 10 p.m., and I'm too tired to do any more searching tonight, so I make a promise to myself. As soon as the sun starts coming out tomorrow, I will look for my mate. The next morning when I wake up, I quickly go through my morning routine before heading downstairs. My pack is staying in a house that is used for visitors. My room is on the top floor, and it's a fairly nice room. In my opinion, this pack spends too much money on their wants, instead of focusing on things that they will actually need. Many of the cars they have are top-notch and flashy, but apparently, most of the people here don't work. I'm not sure how they expect to be able to keep all their fancy stuff. Eventually, the money is going to run out, and they won't have anything left. Anyways, I go downstairs and see that Emily has made breakfast and almost everyone is downstairs. I do some paperwork in the office as I wait for everyone to wake up and come downstairs. Once everyone is downstairs, we eat breakfast. I eat as much as I can since I know I'm going to need a lot of energy today. Most of it is going towards me finding my mate, but another part is going towards keeping myself from killing either one of the alphas. I don't need to have a war anytime soon. I walk outside, ready to start looking for my mate. Elizabeth's POV. After I open up the door to the pack house, I'm met with complete chaos. Everything is messed up, and from the way things smell, the trash hasn't been taken out and the laundry needs to be done. I was only out for a few days. How did all of this happen? Thank God you're here. What took you so long? Do you not see this mess that needs to be cleaned up? Alpha Ryder is going to be here soon, and he can't see the place looking like this. Alpha Daniels yells in my face. I wince and nod my head quickly. I'm sorry, Alpha Daniels. I'll get to work right away, I mutter before leaving to get some supplies. As I'm cleaning, Annabelle starts pacing in my head, and she's saying something, but it's so mumbled I can't understand. Belle, what's going on? Huh? Oh, nothing, She starts before I smell the most intoxicating smell I have ever smelled. What the heck? The scent is unfamiliar, but my God, does it smell amazing. How is this happening? I've already met my mate, and he does not smell like this. I feel a strange pull towards the scent, which makes me even more confused. My thoughts are scrambled all over the place, and I can feel my heart racing. Could I have another mate? But that's impossible. It's never happened before. You get one mate, and that's it. No more chances. What's going on? I start panicking and I look for a place to hide. I just need a few minutes to calm down and compose myself, and hopefully this will be over soon. I quickly hid in a closet close by as the intoxicating scent kept getting closer and closer. Why is my life so complicated? Ryder's POV. On my search to find my mate, I feel a strange pull to the pack house, which isn't too far away from where I'm staying. My wolf is pacing and going crazy, knowing that my mate is so close to me, yet she's still too far away. My mate's scent gets stronger and stronger as I walk to the pack house. This is it. I'm finally going to meet my mate. What if she doesn't want me? Don't think like that. Our mate will love us as much as we love her. Kadon growls at me. He's right. I need to calm down. I'm about to open the door to the pack house when I smell cheap perfume. I then feel someone stroking my arm. Hey there, big boy, a girl with way too much makeup says to me. You look a little lonely. I can keep you company and... Get your filthy hands off me, I growl at her. Who does she think she is? But Alpha Ryder, she pouts, which actually makes her even more unattractive. I'm just trying to help you out. You look so tense, and I know something that would make you feel better. I'm about to reply when I hear a growl. Chelsea, what do you think you're doing? Get away from him. Zach says, his face red with rage. But Zachy, I was just trying to welcome Alpha Ryder B. Shut up, Zach hisses. I awkwardly stand there for a little bit when I remember the reason why I'm here. My mate, I quickly move past the two of them and go inside the pack house. Her scent is very strong in here, and my wolf is going into a frenzy. Mate, 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 must find my mate, Kadon growls in my head. I couldn't agree more with him. I start walking in the direction of her smell, not really paying attention to where I'm going. I follow her scent all the way to a door. Right behind this door is my mate. I'm so focused on the door that I didn't notice that Zach and that girl have followed me into the house and are looking at me weirdly. I take a deep breath before I open the door. My blue eyes meet green eyes, and right at that moment, my whole world shifted, and I finally felt complete. Mine! Kadon growls possessively. Elizabeth's POV. As soon as he said mine, I realized a few things. One, this is really embarrassing. I'm inside a supply closet and holding onto a broom for dear life. Two, how is it possible for me to have another mate? Three, he's really hot and smells really good. And lastly, how is Alpha Ryder, the strongest wolf out there, my mate? Mine. What the hell are you talking about? Zach says. Oh, this is not going to go well. I also noticed that the pack house is eerily silent. So that means that everyone is listening. I try to shrink further into the room, but I just end up knocking over a mop and some spray cleaners. Kill me now. She is my mate, Ryder says with what sounds like awe. That's probably not the case, though, since I'm nothing special. She can't be your mate, Chelsea snorts. She's already Zach's mate. Ryder starts shaking and growling. Mine, he says before he grabs my arm and pulls me towards him. As soon as our skin makes contact, butterflies erupt in my stomach, and my arm starts tingling. I noticed a few things about Ryder at that moment. First, I notice his amazing blue eyes. These are eyes that I could stare into forever. I would never get bored. I also notice how perfect his face is. There are no blemishes. His lips are nice and full, and the perfect shade of pink. His nose is slightly crooked, showing that it's been broken in the past, but it honestly just makes him look more attractive. I notice that he has huge muscles, so he probably works out a lot. Also, his hands are rough but gentle. He also has a tight white shirt on that really highlights his abs. Annabelle, who is usually very shy and conservative, starts filling my mind with some very dirty images. I can feel my face growing warm, so I hide my face on his side, and his reaction is almost immediate, almost like a reflex. He pulls me closer to him, and my face is pressed against his nice, strong abdomen. Wow. He is literally perfect. I try to focus on the events that are happening right now, but it's hard when I'm pressed against this gorgeous man. Zach snaps out of his daze, and he glares at Ryder and I. Chelsea's right. She is my mate. A crowd of people from both packs starts to form around the four of us, and I shift awkwardly from the negative attention we are getting. She is not your mate. She is mine. Ryder growls, and by the look on his face, his wolf is about to take control. He moves me behind him and stands in front of me in a protective manner. Lizzie, you need to calm him down, Annabelle says to me. Me? How am I supposed to do that? Ryder, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. I immediately want to smack myself for sounding so weak, but it seems I have his attention. Yes, princess, he says softly and with kind eyes. Can we talk about this later and in private? Everyone is staring at us. I mumble as I look around us. Of course we can, he says with a small smile. He grabs my hand and I immediately blush, which causes him to chuckle. We're about to walk away when Zach starts yelling. No, let's talk about this now. I don't want you to get your hopes up, Ryder. Elizabeth is not worthy to be anyone's mate, especially one to the most powerful alpha in the world. Zach says, his eyes full of hate. Ryder glares at him, and he is about to say something, but Alpha Daniels comes over. What is going on over here? He says in a fake, cheerful tone. I resist the urge to roll my eyes because I know I will get in trouble. Rye thinks that the freak is his mate, Chelsea says with a condescending tone. 1. Don't call me that. 2. If you ever disrespect my mate like that, I will not hesitate to kill you, Ryder says while pulling me closer to him. Mate? Elizabeth can't be your mate. She is Zach's mate, Alpha Daniels says with a confused look on his face. Most people from my pack look confused because of the events that have taken place in the last 10 minutes. At least I'm not the only one who has no clue what's going on. There has never been a case where a person has been given a second mate. Even the people whose mates die before they meet each other don't get another mate. I'm not sure how fair that is, but I'm not the one who makes the rules. Also, since most werewolves accept their mate, this has never come up before. I'm pretty sure that he is my mate because I can feel tingles spreading throughout my body as he pulls me closer to him. Also, my wolf is basically going crazy, and she keeps saying mate over and over again. I guess this whole situation is possible since technically Zach and I were never mates. We never accepted each other, and he rejected me as soon as he found out. As soon as he rejected me, our connection was broken, which was also weird. Usually the connection only breaks once one of them mates with someone else. Of course, there isn't that much information on this because mates usually don't reject each other. Also, for the small population of wolves that don't accept each other and don't mate with anyone else, they can still feel the bond. It's only weakened slightly. This is why most rejected mates get back together. She is mine. If anyone else tries to argue with me on this fact one more time, Alpha Ryder starts before Zach out of nowhere tries to punch him. Alpha Ryder easily dodges Zach's weak attack, and in less than 5 seconds, he has Zach pinned to the wall. Zach starts squirming around trying to get free. I had her first! She is mine! No one else can have her! Zach screams. I suddenly remember the conversation that I had with Jake about Zach not wanting anyone to take an interest in me. That also reminds me, why haven't I contacted him yet? You were too busy drooling over our new hunk of a mate, Annabelle says while giggling. I ignore her and try to hide my blush. Whatever, I mumble to her. Most of those thoughts were yours. She just chuckles before telling me to contact Jake to help settle this little fight. Jake, I say through our mind link. Are you okay, Liz? Do you need me to come beat someone up? I'm fine. Well, I think I am. Come to the pack house as soon as you can. A few minutes later, Jake comes through the crowd and walks over to me. What's going on? Apparently, I've been given another mate, who is Alpha Ryder, and Zach is not taking this news well. I say as I look over to see Zach still squirming, and Alpha Daniels trying to talk Alpha Ryder into letting Zach go. Wait, how do you have another mate? Jake asks. I shrug in response since I don't know how to answer his question. All right, we can figure that out later. Who is he? I'm assuming he's from Alpha Ryder's pack, but who is he specifically? He asks after a few moments of silence. Alpha Ryder, I mumble and avoid eye contact. What? I mumble my response again. This continues to happen for a few moments, and I can tell that he is getting annoyed. I'm about to tell him, but Chelsea beats me to it. She thinks Rye is her mate, she snorts. But that's obviously not right because she's not good enough. This causes some growls to erupt from Jake, Annabelle, and the members of the Blood Falls pack. For a moment, I forgot that people were still standing here and watching us. Don't disrespect my future Luna, a tall man with shaggy blonde hair and stunning blue eyes says. He has power radiating off him, but not enough to be an alpha, so this is probably Ryder's beta. I give him a smile, silently thanking him and the rest of the pack members who look like they're about to attack Chelsea. The only person who has ever stood up for me is Jake, but he can't always be around me, so I usually just ignore them and then cry to myself in my room later on. My life has changed so much since this morning. Alpha Ryder finally lets Zach go, but not before punching him on the jaw. He starts making his way to me before my brother moves in front of me and stops him. The two of them have a staring competition, and I swallow harshly. I don't think this is going to end well. Ryder's POV. As soon as I opened the door, my nose was assaulted by my mate's sweet scent. She smells like strawberries and roses. I didn't know that I could ever love one scent so much. Once I looked into her forest green eyes, I knew I was in love. She is the most beautiful person I have ever seen in my entire life. She has a cute and small perky nose and a splash of freckles along her nose. Her hair is dark brown, while mine is jet black. She's pretty short, and I tower over her, but she's perfect to me. She's more than what I could have ever asked for or imagined for myself. Caden growls in approval as I quickly check out my mate. I reach my hand out and touch her arm. My hand starts tingling, and that feeling spread through my entire body. I pulled her closer to me, and Caden growled in approval of our mate being so close to us. I was about to ask her what her name was, but then that stupid pup started yelling about how my mate was his. I will never let that happen. I just found her, and I'm not letting anyone have her. I will do anything to keep her safe, even if I die in the process. I notice people start to crowd around us. Apparently, my little mate doesn't like attention because she started to look uncomfortable. I pull her closer to me, and she blushes a little bit. I smile, knowing that in the one that caused her to blush. She looks even more beautiful when she blushes. I'm barely paying attention to anything but my mate. She is so gorgeous. Claim her now, Ryder, Caden says to me. I can't claim her right now. Why not? Because now is not the time. I want it to be special, not in front of all these people. And if I mark her without her permission, she could get mad at us. Fine, Caden grumbles, but you better mark her soon, he says before shutting me out. He's probably talking to our mate's wolf. I'm still trying to tune everything out, but this pup keeps saying that my mate belongs to him. After a while, I snap, and I'm about to beat some respect into him, but my mate stops me. She wants to talk about this later, and when there's less people around to listen. I quickly jump at the chance to spend some time with my mate away from these people. But then Zeke, or whatever his name is, keeps yelling and stuff. And his dad and that slut keep agreeing with him. I'm about to just walk away. Then he tries to hit me. He obviously does not know who he is messing with. I easily dodge his attack, and then I have him pinned to a wall. His dad tries to get me off him, but Caden is mostly in control, and he's not playing around. After some time, I get bored, so I let the pup go. The punch I gave him was just so he wouldn't be able to talk or use his jaw for a little while. I feel like I did everyone a favor. As I go back to my mate, I see a guy glaring at me. From their similar features, I'm guessing they are siblings. I'm not really in the mood to get a lecture from him, though. Alpha Ryder, he says. Yes, I ask with a sigh. If he pisses me off, I don't know if I control Caden. I also know that if I hurt him, my angel will be mad at me and she won't talk to me. Can I talk to you for a few minutes? I give him a slight nod and he starts walking through the crowd. I glance at my mate before I grab her hand and start following her brother. The three of us are walking for a bit before we get to a house. He opens the door and my mate and I walk in, with him following us. So you think my sister is your mate? I hold in my growl before nodding my head. I don't just think she is my mate, I know she is my mate. Elizabeth is only 19. I'm not sure I want her going back to your pack. You guys don't have the best reputation. I don't want my sister getting hurt. She's already been through so much and I don't want her to go through any more. So my mate's name is Elizabeth. Such a beautiful name. Also, she's 2 years younger than me. I then remember what he said about my pack, and I feel my blood start to boil. I growl at him, and I can feel Caden trying to take over my body. My mate puts her hand on my arm, and I instantly calm down. I take a deep breath before answering. I can assure you that your sister will be safe with me. I would never hurt my mate, and my pack would never hurt their Luna. I don't appreciate the comment you said about my pack. We are not savages. Also, even though you are my mate's brother, I am still your superior, and you will treat me with respect, I say with a slight glare. I see him gulp slightly, and I smile inwardly. He clears his throat before nodding. My apologies, Alpha Ryder. I didn't mean to disrespect you. I was just thinking of my sister's well-being. As you know, Alpha Zach was her mate, but he rejected her. Ever since she was little, the members in his pack have been cruel to her, and I just want to make sure that won't happen at your pack. Any annoyance I was feeling with him vanishes. He's just being a good older brother, and from what he just said, there's a good reason for his protectiveness. What did he do to you? I say as I turn and look at my mate. She's been quiet since we got here, and I'm desperate to hear her voice again. Well, not much, she says in a quiet voice. That's a lie, and you know it, Liz. Tell him the truth, her brother says. I realize that I still don't know his name. Jake, Kadon says to me. What? I ask him, slightly confused at what he just said. The brother's name is Jake. How do you know? Annabelle, Liz's wolf, told me. Oh, well, that makes sense. I tune back into the conversation and hear Jake telling Elizabeth that she should tell me what's happened. She's looking at the ground like it's the most interesting thing in the world, and she's shifting around, so I quickly cut in. She doesn't have to tell me right now. She can tell me later. I hear her let out a soft sigh in relief, and I'm instantly glad that I said that. Jake nods his head before saying that he has to border patrol soon and leaving the room. I turn to my mate and I notice that she's already staring at me. When I catch her eye, she immediately blushes and looks away. I feel a small grin making its way onto my lips. So, Elizabeth, tell me about yourself. I smile when she shivers at the sound of my voice. Well, I have an older brother, who you already know, she says while biting her lip. I'm 19, but you already know that too. Well, there's not that much about me. I'm not very interesting, she says as she looks at the ground. I lift up her chin and press a gentle kiss to her left cheek. My lips start tingling and I start caressing her right cheek. Okay, I'll ask you some basic questions then. What's your favorite color? Elizabeth and I ended up playing 20 questions, and I've learned a lot about her. Her favorite color is blue, her favorite number is 3, and her favorite day is Monday because everyone else hates it, and more stuff like that. She is honestly the cutest thing ever. She is now on my lap with her head resting on my chest as we watch some movie with Channing Tatum. I think I've seen this movie once or twice since Emily loves Channing Tatum, but I have no clue what it's about. I've been watching my mate the entire time. Elizabeth keeps yawning, but she's trying to fight it. After a while, her eyes are starting to close. I turn off the TV before I stand up with her in my arms. Why did you do that? I was watching that movie, she says with a few yawns. I chuckle at her cuteness before I walk to the front door and leave Jake's house. I follow our faint scents back to the pack house. From there, I easily locate the cabin my pack is staying in. As soon as I walk in, many people rush forward to get a better look at their new Luna. Once they see that she is okay and is asleep, they leave and go off to do their own thing. I walk up to my room and put my mate on my bed. She whimpers in her sleep once she is completely on the bed, but she remains asleep. I quickly strip down to my boxers before I crawl into my bed with my mate. I have never felt so complete. I want to go to sleep like this every night. That's the last thing I think before I close my eyes and go to sleep. Elizabeth's POV. When I wake up in the morning, I feel a strong arm wrapped around my waist and my skin is tingling. I almost freak out until I realize that it's just my mate. It's weird calling Alpha Ryder that, but I'm sure I'll be able to adjust to the idea of having another mate. I turn around and see that Ryder is still sleeping. He looks so cute and peaceful as he sleeps. When he's awake, he always looks so tense and serious, so it's nice to know that he's not always like that. I'm suddenly overwhelmed by an urge to pee. I try to get out of bed, but Ryder just pulls me closer to him and rolls over. Now, I'm basically underneath him, and no matter how hard I try, I can't get his hands to loosen. I start pushing against his chest, but he still doesn't budge. Okay, I really need to use the bathroom before I pee on myself. How embarrassing would that be? What are you doing, Angel? Ryder says in his husky morning voice. Okay, that was really hot, and I'd be lying if I say that I didn't swoon a little. Princess? I have to go to the bathroom, but you won't let me go. He's quiet for a few seconds before slowly letting me go. You have 5 minutes to use the bathroom. If you're not out by then, I'm coming in, he says with a voice that leaves no room for arguments. I nod quickly before jumping out of bed and running to the bathroom. After Ryder and I got ready for the day, we walk down the stairs. Once we make it to the kitchen, all of his pack members stop talking, and they stare at us. This happens for a few seconds before I'm pulled into a bone-crushing hug. The girl that's hugging me is about the same height as me. She has pretty red hair, and her eyes are a gorgeous green. They almost look like mine, but hers are a little lighter. She squeezes me a little tighter before she lets go. For someone who is so small, she sure is strong. Luna, it's so nice to finally meet you. I'm Emily. I'm so glad Ryder finally found you, she says with a huge smile on her face. Her smile is so cute and contagious, and I can't help but give her a smile that's as big as hers. I'm smiling so much, you can even see my dimples. One by one, pack members come and introduce themselves to me. I learned that the man who defended me yesterday was in fact Ryder's beta, and that Emily is his mate. Once the introductions are done, we all sit down and eat breakfast together. I don't say much because I'm not used to being around so many people. If it weren't for the fact that Ryder is right next to me, and Emily talking enough for the both of us, I don't think I would be able to do this. After breakfast, Emily decides that we should go shopping so we could get to know each other better. I'm a little nervous for this trip because I've never really been shopping for myself, so I don't really know what I like. Once we get to the mall area, Emily is basically jumping up and down. Okay, Luna, first we have to go and get some everyday clothes. Then we can get some sleepwear clothes. And after that, we can get sexy clothes to impress Ryder, she says as she pulls me into the first shop we see. I blush at the last part, though. There is no way I'm getting some sexy clothes to impress Ryder. After 4 hours of shopping, Emily is finally stopping so we can get something to eat. We have a bunch of bags, and the pack members that were sent to watch us each have at least 0 bags. Obviously, they are used to Emily doing this since they are not complaining. We get food from Subway before we sit down in the food court. So, what do you think of the clothes we got you, Luna? Emily asks after we start eating. I really like them. You have a great sense of fashion, I say with a smile. She blushes slightly before she thanks me. After we ate, she tried to get me to try on some sexy outfits that would blow Ryder away, but I refused. I would never be confident enough to wear something like that. Once she realizes that I'm not going to budge, we decide to head home. We've been gone for basically the entire day, and I'm tired. I had a lot of fun, though, and Emily and I are on our way to becoming good friends. We get home around 7:30 p.m., and by that time, I just want to crawl in bed and pass out. We've been out since 11:30 in the morning, so that's probably why I'm so tired. Ryder and Brian are waiting for us when we get out of the car. The pack members that went with Emily and I brought my bags into Ryder's room. As soon as I get close enough, Ryder wrapped his strong arms around me and pulled me to his chest. I glance over and see that Emily is in a similar position. How was your day, sweetheart? Ryder asks after he kisses my cheek. My wolf purrs happily. I had an amazing day. Emily is awesome, I say with a shy smile. Aw, thanks, Luna. You're not too bad yourself, she says with a wink aimed towards me. All right, let's get you to bed, love. You look like you're about to pass out. Ryder says before he picks me up and carries me to our bedroom. I like the sound of that. My wolf yips happily in my head, agreeing with me. After I get changed into some of the clothes I got today, I walk out of the bathroom and crawl into bed. Ryder is already there waiting for me. I snuggle up into his warm and naked chest as he wraps his arms around me and pulls me impossible closer. I turn around so I'm facing him, and I start tracing his abs. He growls in approval, and I smile. How was your day, Ryder? I mumble while still tracing his abs. It was okay, but I missed you. I blush at his statement. No one has ever missed me. I suddenly think of something. Wait, Since I'm your mate, that means that when you leave, I have to go back with you. I can't leave. What about my brother? I say while trying to sit up. Ryder just pulls me closer to him. Mine, he growls while putting his head near my neck and sniffing. Once he calms down, he starts rubbing my back. Your brother can come with us. I don't want you two to be separated or for you to be unhappy. Really? You'd let him join your pack just for me? Our pack, and yes, I would do anything to make you happy. I throw my arms around him and I mumble a bunch of thank yous to him. Since you spent all day with Emily, tomorrow, you and I are spending the day together. We also need to ask your brother if he wants to join my pack. I nod my head in agreement before snuggling into his chest again. How did I get so lucky? My life before was terrible, but things look like they are looking up now. I fall asleep with a smile on my face. Zach's POV. I can't believe that little brat thinks Alpha Ryder is her mate. He is the most powerful alpha in the world, and he's basically a living legend. She's weak and pathetic. There's no way that they're mates. The moon goddess wouldn't do something that horrible to Ryder, even though she did it to me. I'm sure she's already realized the mistake she made in giving Elizabeth one mate, so she definitely wouldn't give Elizabeth another mate. I refuse to share her with anyone else. She is mine, and no one will take her away from me. Now that she is of age, she will become my Luna. I don't care who I have to fight to get her. When I found out that we were mates, I panicked. I wasn't ready for a mate. I still had so much I wanted to do. I mean, yeah, I could have done some of the stuff with her, but other stuff? Absolutely not. She's probably one of those girls where it will take forever before they agree to sleep with you, and she was way too young back then. I may be a jerk, but I'm not a rapist. I am, however, a guy, and I still had needs to take care of. Besides, there are a lot of females that wouldn't take too much convincing. Girls like Chelsea. The only downside with Chelsea is that she is so annoying and she wears too much makeup. She thinks I'm going to mark her so she can become Luna, but she is so wrong. She wasn't born to be a Luna, and even if she was, she would suck at it. All she cares about is her looks and how popular she is. I don't even think she could do simple math equations. My pack needs someone like Elizabeth to be the Luna. She was born for this role and she's kept the pack together for all these years. She's basically the only reason why this pack hasn't fallen apart, not that I would ever admit that to anyone. Ever since my mom died, this pack has gone downhill. The reason why everyone hates Elizabeth is because they think that it was her fault that their beloved Luna died. It actually wasn't anyone's fault. Rogues were able to get past our borders without being caught, and they killed my mom before anyone could go and help her.